Welcome to this summary and analysis of Book 2 of the Brothers Karamazov, where we will be exploring the philosophical themes and ideas presented in this section of the novel. This Book 2 is called An Unfortunate Gathering, and we will soon learn why. Fyodor and Ivan arrive at the monastery with guests, Peter Miusov and young Kalganov, to meet with the wise elder Zosima. Alyosha is already there. However, Fyodor starts his usual banter, taunting the others in an attempt to be amusing. Alyosha, who is used to his father's behavior, feels embarrassed this time as well. The chapter is labeled The Old Buffoon, as an illustration of Fyodor's behavior. Desperately, he kneels before Zosima and asks what he should do to gain eternal life. It is not clear if he is mocking or serious. Zosima's answer is simple. Fyodor must stop lying to others and above all stop lying to himself. Fyodor kisses Zosima's hand and leaves, still unchanged. And yes, by the way, Peter Miusov is the cousin of Adelaida Miusov, Dmitri's mother. He is a mindless, boastful type, and people seem to offend his self-love all the time. Put simply, they don't think as highly of him as he does. Elder Zosima steps out of his cell to meet a crowd of women, mostly peasants, who have come for his counsel. Among them is Mrs. Koklakova and her daughter Lise, frail and without the use of her legs since the age of 14. There's also the woman whose 3-year-old son has passed away, her heart heavy with grief and sorrow. To them all, Elder Zosima speaks the same message, that redemption lies in love. He says that if they love, they are of God, that all pain and suffering can be saved through love. The last person he speaks to is Mrs. Koklakova, who wants to thank Elder Zosima for curing her daughter's fever. However, her legs are still useless. Mrs. Koklakova tells Elder Zosima of her lack of faith, to which he replies that it can only be fixed through selfless love. He adds that it's not easy to give love actively, but that it must be done by her. In the end, it is decided that Elder Zosima should send his novice, Alyosha, to visit Mrs. Koklakova and Lise. When Zosima returns to his cell, he finds Ivan speaking with 2 monks about criminal justice, a concept that Zosima is familiar with. As the discussion goes on, Dmitri finally arrives and joins in. Zosima suggests that instead of the state punishing those who committed wrongdoings, it should be the responsibility of the church. But he also holds firm to his belief that it is only one's own conscience that could bring about meaningful deterrence, as it could lead to real change in people and society. When Dmitri enters and claims Smerdyakov has misinformed him of their appointment, he bows to the old man and the discourse of love, conscience, and eternal life continues. Miusov argues Ivan's view that men only love one another because of the concept of eternity, that without it all would be accepted and self-interest the only moral standard. Dmitri agrees. The debate escalates when Fyodor raises the topic of his sons, accusing Dmitri of deceiving an honorable orphaned girl by becoming her betrothed before pursuing Grushenka. Dmitri replies by suggesting Fyodor is envious of him for his same desires for Grushenka. Fyodor compares his boys to characters from Schiller's The Robbers and wishes he could challenge Dmitri to a duel if they were not relatives. To this, Dmitri wonders why such a man like Fyodor is even allowed to live, and soil the world with his presence. In an unexpected move, Zosima rises, prostrates himself before Dmitri with a full understanding, and touches his head to the floor. Alyosha helps the elder to his cell, where Zosima bids him to seek peace and solace in the sorrows of life outside, where he must leave the monastery after Zosima has died. Before departing, Alexei encounters Rakitin, a seminarian who speculates that Zosima's bow to Dmitri was some kind of portent of ill will within the Karamazov family. Rakitin also mentions that Fyodor is spreading rumors that Dmitri is planning to kill him. Alexei dismisses these rumors as nonsense, but begins to feel a sense of dread and unease. As the meeting comes to a close, Fyodor and Ivan depart together, leaving the monastery and the rest of the Karamazovs behind. The tension and hostility between Dmitri and Fyodor is palpable, and it is clear that their relationship is fraught with conflict and unresolved issues. Meanwhile, Alexei is left to contemplate the wisdom and advice of Elder Zosima, and to ponder the complex and troubled dynamics of his family. He is left with a sense of uncertainty and unease about the future, as the seeds of conflict and potential tragedy continue to simmer within the Karamazov household. Regarding an analysis of this book 2 in the Brothers Karamazov, there are some themes that appear throughout it, so let's dive into these as well. 1. The importance of self-awareness. The novel emphasizes the importance of not lying to oneself, to be aware of one's own flaws and weaknesses. It encourages readers to look at themselves honestly and to strive for self-improvement. 2. The complexity of human nature. The novel portrays a wide range of characters with different personalities and motivations, which highlights the complexity of human nature and the difficulty we all have in understanding and judging others, even if we do it quickly sometimes. 3. The impact of moral choices. The novel illustrates the ways in which moral choices can have a profound impact on one's life and the lives of others, and the importance of taking responsibility for those choices. 4. The importance of forgiveness and redemption. The novel explores the theme of redemption and the possibility of forgiveness and change, even for those who have committed terrible sins. 5. The power of love and compassion. The novel depicts the power of love and compassion to transform lives and encourages readers to strive for empathy and understanding towards others. And finally, 6. The role of religion and spirituality. The novel explores the role of religion and spirituality in shaping one's worldview and moral compass, and encourages readers to reflect on their own beliefs and values. Thanks for watching this episode about Book 2 of the Brothers Karamazov. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos about this grand book.